Hi, I'm going to be very candid with you in this video about the mistakes I made with my dog Kyiah when she was a puppy. It's a mistake that as a result I am still reaping behavioral and anxiety problems with Kyiah at 2 years old. These are mistakes you need to know about, especially if you are raising your first puppy or the first puppy in a long time, like me. This is a mistake you do not want to make. So stay with me so you'll be a better puppy owner. Hi, welcome back to my channel. Now, what exactly do I mean about the pandemic era puppy? Kyiah was born on October 11th of 2019. So she was adoptable in December, just before the pandemic of COVID struck our country and the world for that matter. The infection began in the United States in Washington in January of 2020. Now, I hadn't owned a puppy for decades. I'll freely admit I am in my early 60s, and it had probably been 30 years since I had had a puppy. Most of the dogs I rescue, in fact, all the dogs I've rescued, have been older dogs, no less than 1.5 years old. Well, they're adolescents by that point. So I had admittedly forgotten some things that were important in raising a puppy. First of all, the veterinarian told me when I took Kyiah in for her first shots that I should not let her go outside walking on public sidewalks or in public store floors until she had all of her shots, which would be at 6 months old. So the only interaction she had was with us, me in particular, all day long, training her, and my little schnauzer. She was only with Kyiah for 2 months before she passed away. Then Kyiah was exposed to my daughter's dog at the time, who was a Boston Terrier. Unfortunately, that dog had liver cancer and only lived about another, I'd say 9 months, and she passed away. So then Kyiah was exposed to my daughter's new puppy several months later. It's a white Siberian Husky, and that was great fun for both the Husky and Kyiah because they played and wore each other out all day long. Like everyone else, we stayed at home. We didn't mingle. We kept every outing to a minimum. Then the three of us all got sick. That was in January of 2021. So Kyiah is a little over 1 year old at this point. We're quarantined. Kyiah was pretty much locked in the house with my husband and myself. When we did get back out into the outdoors and walking Kyiah, and she started seeing other dogs coming towards us, there were some behavior problems that I didn't like. She was lunging at other dogs, pulling at the very end of her leash, even standing up on her back legs and barking and growling as dogs would walk towards us. I knew in time that would get her involved in a pretty bad fight from an older dog who didn't like her behavior. She would also during these times scare the owner of the other dog. Now in her mind, she was trying to say, "Hey, I'm here, I want to play with you." But the other dog didn't necessarily understand what she was trying to say. She would growl at the other owner as the owner would talk to her or bend over to try to pet her. That was not a behavior that I wanted to see from her. And the other owner thought, oh my goodness, this is an aggressive dog. And Kyiah by nature is not aggressive. In fact, right now, she's falling asleep. She seems to do this a lot when I make these videos. There were other negatives that I was seeing on top of these. She began growling at visitors in our home, and she wouldn't let them get near her when they tried to speak with her or pet her. She would dodge and jump and back away. She wasn't socialized well. She would slowly warm up to them.
I wondered if I was going to win my puppy back.
But it would take an hour or two of them being in our home. You can imagine the problems this causes. Now, I've told you some of the problems I noticed. Let's talk about some of the things that didn't happen. She didn't change her behavior when we left her alone at home, when we were running errands. Anything other 6 hours, she's happy at home. So that didn't change. She seemed to entertain herself well with her calm and sleeping and running out to go potty as we were gone. So I just felt like the visitor thing was probably not that big of an issue. She was just young still. So by saying a pandemic era puppy, am I blaming all of this on COVID? Am I using it as an excuse for not properly socializing my puppy? Maybe. I think I was forgetting some important qualities that I needed to train. So how is all of this affecting Kyiah now that she's 2 years old? Well, for one thing, it makes it very difficult for us to leave her with anybody outside of our immediate family when we can't take her along with us. So, as a result, I'm being forced to take both Kyiah and myself out of our comfort zone and find a responsible sitter that can watch her when we can't bring her along. So I went online on rover.com, found a nice man who lives just pretty much around the corner from me, and he agreed to sit Kyiah. But I decided I needed to do it at a very slow pace since she had spent 2 years not going to a sitter, and chose to have her go the first time for only 4 hours. This man has a cute little golden retriever puppy that is very patient with Kyiah and very gentle with Kyiah, which I'm so thankful for. She went that first day, and basically she got in the house, went behind the couch under the window in the front room, and pretty much tried to stay there the entire 4-hour visit. Now, my sitter is quite familiar with dogs, so he knew that if he just took it in baby steps and let her get used to her surroundings and him, that she would probably calm down, which toward the end of the visit, she did allow him to put her on the couch beside him, and they sat together and got to know each other, and that was very nice. The next week, I took her for an overnight stay. So she was actually there for 12 hours. She did pretty well to begin with. She was a little warmer towards him, not so much toward Olive, the golden retriever. She explored the house, which was good. She let him sit beside her. She was kind of restless during the night. And even though I had brought her pillow and a blanket and a familiar toy, she was pretty up and down, and I guess not letting him or her get much sleep until about 2 a.m. This man is very patient and very sweet to help me socialize her in this way. She finally settled down in bed with him and slept for the rest of the night. But as you can see, she's pretty tired today. There was an incident, though, that upset me greatly. At one point during the evening, when the sitter tried to pet her, she allowed him to pet her, but then when he tried to pick her up, she bit. It wasn't a vicious bite. Still, a bite is a bite. And that is not something I want my puppy or in this case 2-year-old dog, to be doing. That is inexcusable and upsets me greatly, because that is not who Kyiah is. So by that I know that she is very stressed because she's not with us. The sitter is very kind, very patient. I understand why. He understood why. But this just highlights some of the socialization mistakes I made in her puppyhood. And of course, any dog who bites needs help. I believe that. These are mistakes you need to know about. Do you have a dog that has these same responses when they are not with you and they're with someone they're not that familiar with? I'd love to hear what happened in your case. It could help me as well. And I read every single comment. So leave a comment below this video answering that question to give me a little bit of advice, possibly. And be assured, I read every single comment and try to answer them all. And thanks for watching this video. I appreciate it very much. And I'll see you next time. Can you say bye to the people? Bye-bye.